Hello, welcome to my channel and my very brief overview of Assetto Corsa Evo. I've given it a bit of a run through just so I understand what's going on. Issues so far, really far and few between. Triples, although it does work, I think there's a bit of work to be done. I had two problems. It's a bit laggy, and when I start a race I've got a black screen and I've got to go into settings, make a change, and then all the graphics come back. But as I said, I do get a frame missing every so often, so it feels a bit laggy. But other than that, putting into single screen mode, which is obviously what you can see, it's really nice. So a bit of an overview of what we've got. To drive at the moment, we've only got single player. There are no special events available. As you can see, we're offline. So I should imagine as they bring more functions in and it goes online, elements will open up. Bearing in mind, this is early access. Every point of this, it's early access, so bugs, issues, all take with a pinch of salt because I would expect them to be resolved. Single player, you have the options of picking your game mode, how long the sessions are going to be, which track you want to do. So at the moment there are limited tracks: Brands Hatch, Indy GP, Imola, Laguna Seca, 3 different Suzukas and Mount Panorama. I've been round Imola and I've been round Mount Panorama. Both really good to drive. Mount Panorama's obviously an exceptional track anyway, but really well done. The cars, you are limited. Again, we expect more to come because some of the cars that are due to be released haven't been yet released as part of the game. There's no rentals available. Again, I presume that's because it's an offline mode at the moment, and when it goes online, I should imagine you can take cars out for testing them. The garage is a list of all the cars. They are broken down to brand as well, so the more cars you pick, makes a big difference. Now I will say, I only had one of them before, I've now got 2 of them, so I think that's a bit of a feature, shall we say. Hyundai, again, I only had one of them before, and it looks like they're being duplicated, so I presume something's going on with the game there, but you typically get one of each. Never go to VW, again, with the VWs you can see some of the cars are duplicated in there. They weren't duplicated before, they were all single, so there's obviously something not right. And you can see the Alfa Romeo Junior again is appearing twice, well, there's actually only one car there. And the Abarth, that's what I've been racing and testing, just to give you an understanding of the cars that are there. Excuse me. Honda, you've got the S2000, again just a couple of different ones with different interiors. I should imagine they're all going to be based around the variants of the cars you get, like the GL, GLS and stuff like that as time progresses. So again, the vehicles just takes you into the same screen, dead straightforward. Yeah. Academy, obviously you have licenses, very much similar to, I suppose, what you do in what was Gran Turismo, where you achieve licenses to unlock more cars, unlock more tracks, unlock more type of races, I should imagine. The driver is your own driver profile. Now, believe it or not, I have actually put this detail in already once, so there's obviously a problem with that. And United Kingdom is right down at the bottom. There you go. So I'll apply that. So you've seen I've applied that, but before it didn't recognise my profile. In fact, you can see it's forgotten. So obviously features not working properly. Gallery lets you look at any replays that have been saved in the photographs. The replays are really good, but you can't change the camera angles. And what they've done is the car that's in focus is very clear, but then it kind of like blurs out everything else around to make the effect more appealing, if you like. You've also got settings. So the settings, you've got controls. Now, one thing it's not clear, and obviously you need to know about it, is these options across the top. These are your physical devices, and what you do is you set up your devices under there. So if you've got a wheel and it's got your gears on it, you assign it there rather than against the car under keyboard and mouse, because it's just not going to work. Might seem obvious now I'm explaining it, but believe me, I was like, how do I do it? Click on Invicta pedals, which are the pedals I've got, and by default the pedal was always depressed, so it was always revving. What you've got to do is click on what you want to change, go into properties and invert the axis. If you invert the axis, the pedals will work correctly. You don't need to invert the axis, obviously you don't need to touch it, and it will detect other elements in there that you may have. In the video, you can change the options. As I said, it does support triples. It's not as clear cut as you think. I did get it working, but there's 1 or 2 issues with it, so I've deferred back to single monitor. The monitor number there doesn't work either. It works between 2 of the monitors on my system, but not 4, even though it detects them. So I don't know the reasoning behind that. And obviously you've got the aspect ratio and the resolution. Under graphics settings, there's a whole host of settings. It does look stunning on Ultra, but obviously you can turn some of these down if you're suffering. I'm running a 3080 Ti Founders Edition, so it's a pretty beefy card, to be fair. Audio, very similar to typical racing games, master volume engine and so on and so forth. Gameplay and HUD. Not much you can change in here at the moment. HUD's obviously in development. And then the credits, who's written the game. So that's the game in its settings. Let's go on track and see what goes on. So click on drive, single player, and I'm going to stick with Mount Panorama. Under the modes, you can select practice, quick race, race weekend. Sessions, how long you want them to be. The track, I'm going to keep it on Mount Panorama. The car, the weather, so we've got rain in there. I will do a quick preview of the weather, and any obviously elements you've got switched on for customization of assists. I'm going to start the session. And I appreciate you've probably seen these on professional streams. There you go, 1080p, because that's what my monitors are. Looks really, really nice, to be fair. You do have the ability to set the vehicle up. Certain things you can't do, like change the fuel at the moment, and you're really limited to what you can do with the tyres. So again, that will get unlocked as things happen. Replay's really good once you've done a bit of an outing. I'm going to keep it simple and click on drive. Now my settings, I can change the cockpit settings under view settings, and I can change the field of view. Bear in mind this was set up previously for triples, that's why it is. I'm going to keep it like that. I'm not going to change it, because if I go back to triples, obviously it lets me change things in a different way. Motion, I'm going to discard the changes. I can determine whether I want to lock to horizon, whether I want the movement in the car, and so on. Wheel and dash, certain elements don't work, but you can see there, if I switch that off, that disappears in the middle. Otherwise I get that coming on. Visibility, all visible. Mirrors, you can change how the mirrors are going to work. Does the mirror appear at the top? That mirror frame rate though does run a lot lower, so you will see that flickering slower than what you're used to in the game. I will click that on and go back, and I'll resume. So I'll do a lap. I could crash, so don't shoot me. Put my pit limiter on. I have got some buttons set up on the wheel, otherwise it gives you penalties for fun. It's not the fastest of cars. Force feedback is okay. You probably will need to tweak it. I have got feedback, I can feel it through the wheel, but it's nice and smooth. Interesting there, I don't know if you noticed the animation, he puts his hand on the gear stick ready when the revs build up, because it's almost like anticipating the gear change. So you saw his hand there, that was before I even went to the gears. I've only done a few laps, so I might change the way I drive this track in this car, but you know, at the end of the day, this is just meant to give you a feel for what's in the game. So I can feel the wheel back fighting with me straight away. Get around the corner here, get going again down the hill. You can spin them, you can slide them. So it's all about understanding what the car's capable of. It's only a 5-speed gearbox in this car. You can see the tyre pressures are changing, different parts of the tyres are changing colour. You can see the brake temperatures, so quite a lot of information. You can see what traction control I'm running, what ABS, and brake bias. And you can see how far I think I've gone in the car. I don't know how 4 kilometres I've already done. You can see now I can't go any further through the gears and get to the point of where the car's had enough. So as I say, I've tried Imola and I've tried Bathurst. They both look really good. For reference, I did a 241 once I got everything together. So that's a lap in the game. Okay, so the replays. Click on replay. You don't have much in the way of control over the camera, but pretty good to be fair. You'll see the top portion of the screen then was a little bit blurred. Obviously the distance, so it's not having to render that perfectly until the car gets up there, at which point it's obviously a different display. So yeah, replay's not bad. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back and change it to wet. I haven't done anything in the wet, so this is going to be a complete new experience to me. Weather, rain, we've got fog. I'm going to keep that as it is. And I'm going to go out in this car again, so have no idea what to expect here. Don't even know if I've got windscreen wipers set up. What I will do is I'll make sure I've got windscreen wipers set up. I do have a windscreen wiper button on my wheel, so what I'm going to do is look for rain lights. No, them. There must be wipers somewhere. Engine mapping. I'm not seeing anything there. There you go, wipers. So you've got wipers different stages. So I'm going to do wiper stage cycle 1 and put my wiper button on. You get to see how I can change the things during the game as well, which is quite good. Drive, put my wipers on. Crikey, they're quick, aren't they? Ah, you can go through different speeds, that's nice. Put my pit limiter on. And let's go out in the wet. See how it drives in the wet. I'll probably bin this and stick it in a wall or something. But this is for your entertainment. So straight away I can feel the roads much slippier. Range seems okay. Faster go, starting to go up the windscreen. So obviously using a very similar model to ACC Competizione. So this is where I expect to bin it now. Because I've not got wet tyres on, but then again it's a road car, so it's probably got road tyres on it. And it doesn't look exceptionally wet, to be honest. Still got plenty of grip, to be fair. See, as I get up the hill though, looks like it's getting misty, which is quite a nice touch, as you'd expect. Yeah, it's not got the same grip, as you can see there. I went round there quicker before. It's definitely not got the same grip. Get down the hill in one piece if I can. I've not seen any of the crash damage or modelling yet, so hitting that wall before. I don't know what impacts had on the car. See the little lights coming on for traction control then as well. The yellow light. Actually picking up them in the wet. It's alright. I'm not seeing any heavy rain on the track, but that's not turning around there well. As you saw then, it wasn't going around that corner very well at all. Yeah. So I've cut warning there then, and the yellow flag on that hoarding was flashing. Did say this was the first time in the wet, so you know, I've not binned it, but I haven't been perfect. That's it, and that's a bit of an overview. So what are my thoughts? Again, I've got to appreciate this is early access, but actually I think it's a pretty good starting point. When they introduce the networking play and more vehicles and more tracks, I think they'll be in a good situation. I just hope the online functionality is as good as others, where you can host servers, change the configurations and stuff like that, because I think this has got the makings of, you know, bypassing other games that are on the market. ACC is purely your GT3s, your GT4s. This will allow you to run different sorts of races, and as they bring more cars out, obviously end up with a bit more of a different scope. So it's probably on a par with the original Assetto Corsa, Automobilista 2, but there's still a lot of work to do with it. But yeah, I think first thoughts, quite happy with it actually for a download and a bargain at £26. So that's me a bit of a review. If you want to get it yourself, feel free to download it. Obviously you'll have to pay for it, but yeah, it's worth it. I think it's worth it. Thanks anyway. Bye.